I challenged myself to decrease my Nintendo Switch physical backlog stack with 10 games this year. That might not seem like much until you see the sheer amount of RPGs and visual novels I own. So I came up with a list of games I would finish during stream and offline, but I know myself pretty well, so I added some extra games to make up for games I would definitely buy this year. Speaking of buying games, I didn't realize buying games was such a big hobby of mine. At this point, I'm just watching all the Nintendo Directs being like, come on, give me a good game to buy, come on, and checking my local game retailer's webshop every week. So I guess for this challenge, it's a good thing there haven't really been any new games I'm extremely excited for. I'm having serious withdrawal symptoms. Nintendo, please, I beg you. Thank God for the one game I did buy that just so happens to be one I actually planned to buy. I'm of course talking about the new cozy phenomenon, Pokopia. Who could have known it would ever become such a big thing that it actually became a very big system seller for the Switch too? Not me, that's for sure. Just like my new game predictions were wrong. Though I was right in predicting a new mainline Pokemon game, I never expected them to push Gen 10 to 2027, especially since it would make so much sense to release it for the 30-year anniversary. But alas, we gotta wait a little longer. Do you think maybe they predicted the success of Pokopia and that's why they wanted to give it room to breathe before everyone got focused on a mainline game again? I also predicted a new Zelda game, but so far, nothing happened there either. Zelda hasn't even been mentioned by Nintendo this year, though the release date for the very first Zelda game in Japan has come and gone. You never know, they might still announce something later on, or maybe we just get bits and pieces of info about the live-action movie. As for the games that don't have a release date yet, but have been scheduled for this year, we haven't heard anything about a new Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave game yet, nor anything new about Professor Layton and the New World of Steam. Layton fans have waited so long. Please, feed us some crumbs. Hopefully, we'll hear more about those releases in the upcoming quarter. I haven't been sitting still these past few months. I'd say I've finished a decent amount of games, though I do need your help with one of them. More on that in a bit. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. This quarter, I dedicated most of my streaming time to playing Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. I had expected this game to take longer than its predecessor, Age of Calamity, but it actually took less time to finish this game. Maybe it's because I was way more invested in the story, or because I didn't take a very long break between play sessions. I really enjoyed playing this game, though it felt a little slow at the start with Zelda having to go through a bunch of training sessions. This girl has been holding back the Calamity for 100 years, and I've seen her kick ass in Age of Calamity. I don't think she needs the training, but once the story took off, I was blasting through the chapters. The gameplay is no doubt similar to Age of Calamity, but with the addition of certain teamwork mechanics and quality of life improvements, the player experience feels a whole lot better. Where in Age of Calamity, if I missed the window to use a special ability to block the enemy's attack, in Age of Imprisonment, if there's an ally nearby, you get a short window where you can switch to that character to use the special ability anyway. It really makes you feel like these characters are part of a team and helping each other out. Then there's the Sync Strikes, where characters do a cute little high five and combine their powers to absolutely demolish the enemy. It's so cool to see the characters interact and find out what unique combinations of sync attacks there are. I absolutely adore Rafika and Zelda's cute little dance animation. The story is of course the adventure Zelda had in the past, helping the first king of Hyrule and the sages defeat Ganondorf. It gives a little more insight into the imprisoning war we heard so much about in Tears of the Kingdom.
The imprisoning war.
The imprisoning war.
The imprisoning war.
The imprisoning war.
So much. We know how it ends, but it was nice to get a little more insight into the sages and their stories. But why all of their hair is so fabulous, I still don't know. When you talk about the story though, you have to talk about the characters. Cause who even are these people? I get that Koei Tecmo had to fill up the roster with more characters than just Rauru and the sages. But other than the two new characters that play a big part in the story, the other characters got next to no character. character development, unless you really start to look for it. The characters in the main group have decent to great character development though. I personally absolutely love Artie and Kia. Another thing though, they made all these extra characters. Can someone explain to me why nearly all of them use swords as their weapon? In the main group of actually story-relevant characters, half of them are already using one-handed swords. Why do we need more characters wielding swords? And why is there only one character with a bow and he's a sage? Please, I need the weapon types to be spread out more. Most of the characters do have their very own playstyle though, which I appreciate. I just wish we could have had more bow and spear users. Despite my complaints about the game, I did greatly enjoy it and would recommend it to you if you like these hack and slash Muso type games, or you would like to know the complete story of the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom Zelda universe. Fire Emblem Three Houses. With a new Fire Emblem scheduled to release this year, I wanted to go back and finish the different routes in this game. Can't go missing out on lore and Easter eggs when a new game comes out, right? I had already started on my Blue Lions run prior to this challenge, but the routes in this game are all so long and filled with so much content. I took about 1.5 months to finish my Blue Lions run and Black Eagles run. Now comes the problem. I didn't do the Silver Snow or Church route. In Fire Emblem Three Houses, there's a route split if you choose the Black Eagles route, one where you don't follow the main lord of the house. Now this route has been called a copy of the Golden Deer route online, which was the very first route I finished, so I wasn't all that eager to play this route. I asked my trusty mod Blue, who is also a big Fire Emblem fan, what I should do. However, I'm still unsure if I can call this game finished now. So, I want to know what you guys think. Should I play the Silver Snow route to call the game finished? Or is it fine to leave it at playing the main Lord's routes? Please put your answers in the poll and help me decide. In general, Fire Emblem Three Houses is a very solid game with incredible world building and characters, which is likely why it makes the perfect world to create another game for. If you haven't played the game yet and enjoy strategy games, or even if you just want to enjoy a good story with many different layers, I highly recommend it. Cupid Parasite, Sweet and Spicy Darling. This is a fan disc of my favorite otome visual novel, Cupid Parasite. It tells the story of Cupid, who has fallen in love with a human and lost her god powers, and now has to navigate her dating and marriage life as a human. The game has a gorgeous art style and has amazing storytelling that doesn't take itself too seriously, taking inspiration from popular franchises and putting some insanely out there ideas in the story keeps you interested and keeps you laughing. Not to mention all the spicy scenes. I mean, it is a fan disc. Expect some fan service. I had already started this game a while back, playing and finishing the route of my favorite character from the previous game first, Ryuki. However, now that I've played all the routes, I can say Ryuki was robbed. I love all the characters in this game, but Ryuki being my favorite had a pretty tame route, which was a little disappointing. Then there was a new character, Marinice. I enjoyed the shenanigans of his route, though he's not entirely my type. But it had some mystery elements that did make me want to keep playing to find out the truth. Overall though, I had a great time playing the game and loved all the different focuses for the characters. Some of the new side characters also shone so bright, and I loved that I got to learn more about them the more routes I played. Looking at you, Robin! And the music, like in the first game, was amazing as well. If you like otome games with a modern fantasy rom-com element, Cupid Parasite and Cupid Parasite Sweet and Spicy Darling are the games for you. Pokopia. I love Pokopia! I was down with the flu when it came out, so my days consisted of sleep, eat, Pokopia, repeat. At some point, I started dreaming about it, which is when I decided I needed to cut back a little. I still finished the main game in about 4 days though. Pokopia is a mix of Minecraft, Animal Crossing, and FIFA Piñata.
It's party time!
God, I miss Viva Pinata. And while it gives you basically the freedom to do whatever you want, there's actually a pretty solid storyline throughout the game. The humans and Pokemon have all seemingly disappeared from Earth, and you wake up as a Ditto who takes on their trainer's appearance. Because of this, you can use the different devices made for humans that give you the information you need to create different habitats for Pokemon. Slowly, the Pokemon will start to come back while you try to figure out the mystery of what happened to the humans. This game is so cute and so fun. You can really let your creativity shine, as you've no doubt seen on all social media by now. Man, people make insane builds. My only gripe with it so far is the physical version. As a physical game collector, I'm so disappointed with the game keycards. Yes, it gives me a box and a physical cartridge, but I still have to download the game. And I can only play the game if the cartridge is inserted, despite the game being downloaded, and it would have to pay like 10 euros more for it. How does that make sense? So I decided to buy the digital version for the game instead. Honestly, I'm so happy the gaming industry is figuring out the power of cozy games and giving us so many. Releasing this game on the Switch 2 was such a big brain move on the Pokemon Company's part, making it an instant system seller. If you haven't played the game yet or don't have a Switch 2, I'm so sorry for your loss. But for real though, this is a great game I'd recommend to anyone. Whether you like RPGs, cozy games, sandboxes, creature collection, or building, the game has it all. I don't know if it's worth buying a Switch 2 for. That's up to you. Maybe watch some gameplay videos to find out if the game is for you before you decide to spend 500 to 600 euros though. With those games finished, this is the current progress on my challenge. I think I made very decent progress, especially with Fire Emblem Three Houses, where every route is basically a game on its own. It's probably one of the biggest games in this challenge in total playtime. Though there are still some other big RPGs on my to be played list that I haven't even started yet, unlike Three Houses. If I keep up this pace though, I have no doubt that I will finish all these games. I might even have to add some games to the challenge. Good thing I still have more games in my backlog. So, what's next? On stream, we will definitely try to finish Rune Factory Guardians of Asma, which I had already started playing through over there. Due to the flu, I couldn't really stream in March though, so we better pick up the pace for Quarter 2. I also want to knock down a game that should be pretty easy to finish, which is A Short Hike. And of course, once we finish Rune Factory Guardians of Asma, we'll need another longer stream game to start off. So look forward to those. Offline, I will focus on finishing the Fire Emblem Warriors Free Hopes routes. Though we still don't know when the new Fire Emblem game is coming out, I'd rather finish all the related games sooner than later. I might start another non-tactical, non-Musou RPG to play in between though, and Pokopia. Pokopia's love, Pokopia's life. Though I'm not sure which one I want to start on yet. That's all for this update. The backlog is still far from finished, and I'll keep playing, so watch out for more update videos throughout the year. You never know when we might get a great direct with tons of games I want to play. So subscribe and follow me on my social media at Fenazeru to follow along my journey. Do you have a huge backlog that needs finishing? Join me on my challenge and share what games you want to finish in the comment section. Alright, it's time for me to play some games now. Hope you have a great evening, morning, night, or afternoon, whatever time it is for you. And flock out.